Hi Amanda, it's Fancy, and I'm looking at what I think is the design you're replying to as the second design. And so first and foremost, we have to consider that each of these works on its own as an individual composition, and that they work together, all three of them work together as a composition, or a series of compositions. So if we look at this one on its own, and we look at this one on its own, and we look at this one on its own, we have some figures on a ground, such as this. We have we have kind of a pattern orientation, which is okay for this assignment, according to Linda. We have points of emphasis that are gradating away from the center. They're not doing with equal value contrast. So I see this as the center of this one. And the contrast between here and here is very soft compared to from here to here, which is very hard. And the purples go fairly good. This one is better. This one is pretty hard from the green to the center. And then also from the darkest shade to back to the green. So you need to check your scale. But I made comments about your scale, and I think once you fix those, that will be easier. So you have a figure on the ground here. These are pretty soft, so you can see that these are gradating fairly well. It looks like this point of emphasis is running across the compositions. So we're going to talk about that one a little bit later. So figures on a ground. This looks like a figure on a ground. This looks like a figure on a ground, so on and so forth, figure on a ground. We have this pathway that continues to the green side, a pathway that continues to the purple side. This feels a lot weightier when you look at the compositions as a whole. It feels very weighty on the left side or on the left panel of the triptych compared to the right side or the right panel of the triptych. Your gradations are working fine. It might be interesting to see a gradation that moves from purple using vanishing boundaries and transitions to green. Same for here, starts out green using vanishing boundaries, transitions to purple. That would add some visual interest and help you blend the colors more within the composition. Probably of the three, this one is the most problematic. On its own, if we just look at it on its own, it's not visually challenging, I suppose. Again, they look like pathways on a watery background. So you need to think about that. How will you resolve the figure ground issue? Because although we can have pattern orientations, we're still supposed to avoid figure ground interaction. I'm trying to see, these are just kind of these floating squares or diamond shapes. Sometimes they're purple, sometimes they're green. And here you have green ones, here you have purple ones, and in the middle composition you have both green and purple ones. Excuse me. I don't know if you are considering these as focal points. That would be my guess. So if you could give me some more information about your thought process, that would be helpful.